Yes, people, welcome to the Shoestring Budget Podcast. Manchester United 2, Fulham 1. Goat Nacho! Goat Nacho. Absolutely beyond buzzing. And yes, brother Tom, nice to see you back. Welcome back after your week break. How are you doing? How's everything going?
Great. It's good to be back. It was a nice holiday, but now oh God, how did you hear that?
Yeah, I thought I had an echo going on there.
No, it's coming from my other screen, but yeah, it's good. It's good to be back. Yeah, that was United every time.
Man, insane. I feel like I should put out like a disclaimer saying sorry if anyone's got any issues with flashing lights. As you can see, I'm heavily under the thumb. We're still in November and I've got the Christmas tree up.
Hey, mine got put up today, so.
Oh, there you go. We're both under the thumb. We should have gone with just a Christmas-themed podcast today. Big up to Pete and to Asif and Katie in the comments. Katie's just put here, sorry, I've just been apologising to the neighbours after you set their dogs off. Oh, my days, the dogs went crazy. But if you haven't seen the clip is on YouTube. Make sure you check it out after this. Of the celebration of during the watch-along. I lost my collective shit in that game. It was just insane. Brilliant finish to what was actually a bit of a mixed bag, right? This actually wasn't a straightforward game in many ways. What was your initial assessment of that game?
They battered us, to be fair. We were under the cosh for most of the game. I think we were trying to play counter-attack, but even then they weren't really letting us do that. You know, they kept the press up and all the pressure, and they could have scored 2, 3, 4 goals if it wasn't for David De Gea. Let's be honest, he saved us quite a lot in that game. But obviously, then the goat had to come along at the end. And no, we're not talking about Ronaldo, because who's that? We're talking about Goat Nacho.
Goat Nacho, as we have now named him. He is the GOAT. What a goal from him that ultimately won us the game in the dying seconds of what would have been a really disappointing 2 points dropped, right? You know, Liverpool winning yesterday, they're really on our tails again now, which obviously was not nice. We've got a lot of friends that are Liverpool fans, and we don't want to be anywhere near them, certainly after the start they've had. And it would have felt like a real dip to end going into the World Cup on a draw. It would have felt more like a loss. Just going to go through some of these comments really quickly. Loads of people coming in the comments. Keep them coming, guys. I want to know everything and what you're thinking. I know all of us are now on cloud 9 after the end of that game. Pete's put here, Goat Nacho. I love it. Your voice on that celebration clip is the greatest thing ever, JD. Honestly, it was insane. Assis put happy faces, happy performance. We need to keep Martial wrapped up in cotton wool this winter. He gave us so much more than Ronaldo. Yeah, I'm going to talk a bit about Martial in a little bit because I
love Martial.
I don't get me wrong, I love him, and I think he does offer us more. But I was just a little bit.
He was a bit lacking today.
He was lacking it. He wasn't right there today. Kate's put, sorry I'm a bit late. We've already read that one out. Pete's put, Asif's put, got Nacho. No. Ask me why. Phil's put, is it really a United performance if we don't do it the hard way?
Literally, yeah.
That is the comment, isn't it? Like, so many missed chances. Easy chances as well, like that Martial header and the Eriksen chance as well. So frustrating, but do you know what? We got the 3 points. I'm buzzing. Big up to Joseph as well. Fulham got robbed by both halves of Manchester this season. Yes, obviously the Man City game last week scored in the last few minutes as well. To be fair, though, we did it the legit way. They cheated to get their 3 points. Yeah. We did it the legit way. Decent first half.
Fair, we should have had a penalty anyway.
Well, we'll discuss that because I'm a bit mixed on it, but I've been shouted down by everybody, so I'm willing to admit defeat there. Pete's put here, decent first half, awful that change for McTominay for Elanga. Garnacho should have been on sooner. That was a very odd choice, and I actually did highlight that in the watch-along as well.
I think if Garnacho came on sooner, then it wouldn't have been the same outcome. The butterfly effect.
Probably wouldn't have been, but if you look at it, when McTominay came on, they put Bruno out onto the right wing.
Yeah,
Bruno lost the ball.
I don't understand the whole Bruno right wing thing. I don't get it.
It's because we haven't got anyone other than Palestri who, for some reason, doesn't even get a look in even in the cup. So I don't know. Ten Hag works with these players week in, week out. We obviously don't. So a lot of what we base it on is emotion and what we think would be right, but he's the one that sees them play. Joseph put, Tom summed it up right there. Man said Ronaldo. Who's that? Tom is now the official CEO of the Ronaldo Ronaldo hate club. So I am no longer CEO.
No, that's still your title, JD.
No, that is yours now. I have not brought up Ronaldo yet.
Still your title.
Assis put, because he is bloody cold, Nacho. And Stonewall, Phil says there about the penalty. We will get into all that good stuff. But firstly, Garnacho. I mean, you've got to look at him now. He's got to be starting every game now, right?
Well, it's obvious, if you ask me. You know, you look at the ball, because obviously I haven't been on the podcasts for a week or so. So, like, you know, I'm still going to bring things back from before. But you look at the assist against Aston Villa midweek, unreal. And then the way he came on and changed the game today, I think he's got a start. But then the only thing for me is, if he starts on the left, does that mean Rashford starts up front or on the right, where he can't really play? This is the
problem.
Because I'm not being funny. I'd rather not have Rashford up front because we've got Martial. And then on the right, I'm going to want Anthony. So, you know, is there any space for Rashford? Because he is in good form, same as Garnacho. So how would you pick between the two?
Based on the fact that obviously Ronaldo hasn't been firing this season for whatever reason.
He'll go in January, won't he? Let's be honest.
But based on that, and also based on Anthony Martial, his injury record has been appalling for Manchester United since he joined us, but this season in particular. Do you think it should be a front three of Garnacho, Rashford, and Anthony, or do you still see Rashford playing on the left-hand side?
I still think he will play Rashford on the left-hand side and bring Garnacho on. But that's the thing, if sometimes Rashford can play up front, but I think, you know, I can't go back on Martial if he's fit. So if Martial gets injured again and if he's not fit, then Garnacho, Rashford, Anthony, that'd be an amazing front three. Because Garnacho's pacey. He's fast.
He's got some pace. And
so's Rashford and so's Anthony, so...
Yeah. That's the thing, though, with Garnacho, his end ball seems to be better than everybody's at the minute.
Well, you go through the comments, like, and Joseph's put Sancho and Rashford both have Garnacho to worry about now. I don't even think Sancho's in the question anymore. He's not even in the
Sancho's
picture.
Out. Yeah, he's got to be out of the question now. The best Sancho can hope for is maybe playing on the right wing as a backup to Anthony.
But I can see him leaving. I can see him leaving.
Yeah, I can see him leaving massively.
I can see him going back to the Bundesliga, to be honest.
It's a shame that things haven't worked out, because I was like CEO of
when we signed Sancho, I was so happy.
Yeah, I was buzzing. Pete's put here, surefire to start after the World Cup. Phil's put, I wouldn't be surprised. Sorry, so many comments coming in. I wouldn't be surprised if Fulham don't claim about us playing with 12 men. Defenders look terrified of him. We need to play more youth. I agree with that so much. I would have loved to see Palestri today instead of Anthony Elanga starting that game. I really would have. I would have loved to have seen Palestri play on Thursday against Aston Villa. It doesn't seem to happen. Yet the only time I've seen Palestri play under Erik ten Hag was the Liverpool game pre-season, and he scored in that game and he looked a real threat, lively, energetic, perfect.
Those they always do in pre-season, though, don't they? That's the thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's not been given a chance since then.
Yeah.
And again, that does come down to obviously what Ten Hag's probably seeing in training, maybe. But I've seen Elanga every game this season, and maybe there was one little glimpse against Chelsea, and he's just not there.
No.
I don't see what you see in Elanga that you can't see in Palestri or anything like that. I just don't get that. Joseph's put here about Sancho and Rashford. You've already read that one. Nacho in Hindi Urdu is translated as "do dance." It makes him a goal dancer. I like that. That's pretty cool. Pete put here, Sancho back up on the right 100%. Yeah, I think he's going to have to play second fiddle to Anthony until he ends up eventually leaving, if that is the case. Phil's put Rashford in centre in front of Eric and Bruno. Those balls on the counter. Yeah. Now, there seems to be like a collective, not an agenda, I don't know if that's the right word, but there seems to be a collective thought that Rashford can't play through the middle. Now, I personally think
I've
he can.
seen him play in the middle, and he can. I just think he's more consistent on the left, and then when he's on the right, he can't play on the right because he likes to run at defenders and cut in. Whereas when he's playing on the right, he can't do that.
On the right, I would rule him completely out on the right-hand
Yeah.
side. But when I've seen him play down the middle, he seems to almost start off on the left and then loop his runs through the middle.
Yeah.
And it does seem to work. And like Phil says, if you get the ball over the top or the counter,
Yeah, because there's
sublime.
nothing to say that he can't drift off to the left whilst we're defending, and then when we counter, he can drift back into the middle, and make that run.
Exactly. And the fact that we can seem to play with a dynamic front three is nice because you can have people interchanging and things. Rich, well, big up to Rich as well. Nice to see you on here, my man. He's put Garnacho seems to deliver every time he gets on the pitch. Really is true. His end ball has just been phenomenal. It really is. And Assis put Bruno made loads of mistakes in the second half. His mistake led to the goal. Bruno, first half, fantastic. He put everything on a plate. Again, once he's moved out of position onto the right-hand side, everything just goes wrong.
It just kind of proves, though, don't we, how much we actually rely on Bruno. Because the first half, you know, we got an assist, him and Eriksen together, and then, like you said, when he got moved onto the right-hand side, it just all went downhill.
Yeah, really did. Fell apart, and it, like Asif said, he was culpable for the first goal that Fulham scored, or the only goal that Fulham scored. Bit of a cock-up between him and Malacia. Now, Malacia on that right-hand side today, bless him, he was absolutely torn to pieces. Me and Craig did get into a bit of a spat on the live stream. Craig, I made the point of why isn't Aaron Wan-Bissaka playing, because I look at it like this. Malacia on the right was non-existent today.
I don't hear of having a left-footed player in right-back.
Well, yeah. But what I mean is, with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, right, going back onto him, he offers at least defensive ability.
Yeah.
You know, at that position.
But that's the thing. I still think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a really good defender.
He's a fantastic defender, but he's not a good fullback.
That's what I mean. I think because of how Erik ten Hag wants to play, you look at Dalot, he's an excellent defender and he's excellent going forward. Aaron Wan-Bissaka doesn't have that for him.
No, not at all. But for me, I looked at it and I said to Craig as well during the live stream, I get that Aaron Wan-Bissaka doesn't suit Erik ten Hag's system. However, he can at least offer that very basic thing of being able to defend, and that was something that Malacia was lacking today. Going forward, Malacia offered nothing either. So it's like,
what do you
why not
expect?
just
You've put him in a complete opposite position against a very, very experienced Willian, who's still a very good player.
Yeah, he played well today, but I think that was mainly down to the fact that we gave him space and time to show what he can do. Against any other right back in the league, most of Willian's stuff is shut down. You know, he doesn't get a sniff. But Aaron Wan-Bissaka should have played over Malacia there.
I'll tell you one thing, it had to be Dan James, didn't it? It had to be.
Soon as I saw him come on, I forgot he played for Fulham. You see, I thought he was still at Leeds. I completely forgot he went to Fulham. And then as soon as he came on, I said he's going to score.
And Pereira as well. Pereira put in a shift.
Hey, pre-season Perlo, man, he played well today.
But,
he did very well.
When he tried it with Martinez, and then after that, Martinez showed him who's boss.
Yeah.
He didn't
I
love
that. I love that. He gave him a little nudge, and then that was it.
Yeah, Martinez just kept going for him, and after that, he kind of backed away. Didn't he? Like, okay, I'm messing with the wrong guy here.
Yeah, I don't want to do this. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Loads of comments coming in, guys. Loving this. Keep them coming in. Joseph has put here, to be fair to Ten Hag, Cancelo is a right-footed player, and he plays left back all the time. But Malacia definitely isn't Cancelo.
Exactly.
That's very true. Assis put, yeah, Tom, I told that against Villa game when he was out. Bruno just cannot play on the wings. Yeah, he played out on the wing instead of, who was out? Anthony. Anthony was injured for that game as well. It's been a big loss, Anthony. And it just shows how important that signing was, considering we were so close to not making that signing.
To be fair, you look at it today, and you know we've got Varane out, we've got Anthony out, Dalot wasn't there. And to be fair, it felt like we were watching the Man United of a couple seasons ago,
Yeah,
compared to when we've had all them players fit and playing. When they're all fit, the football is completely different and it's amazing. When they're not, it kind of drops back down. So that kind of proves that we've still got a long way to go because we don't have them backups.
a heck of a long way to go. And I asked the question during the stream. I'll ask it to you now, Tom, but I'll ask it to everyone else in the comments as well, just in case you didn't answer there. How many more transfer windows do you think Eric Ten Hag needs before we start to see a proper Manchester United team, or an Eric Ten Hag Manchester United team? Get them comments in as well. Let me know what you think.
I think about 2.
Two. Do you think it needs? Because
But
I
two,
look at it
two
like
with
two.
the right financial backing.
So you're looking at 2 summer transfers as opposed to a summer and a winter, because historically, we've never been backed. Certainly in the last 10 years, we've never been backed in January.
Oh yeah.
So do you think it needs to be 2 summer transfer windows?
It'd have to be.
Yeah, I think so. I think if we can bring in a striker this
Who would you go
this
for
winter,
realistically now? Who, let's be realistic. What striker are you picking? Because to me, I like Ivan Toney. I also like that Blackburn striker who's from Stoke, that Ben Brereton Diaz.
Brereton Diaz, yeah.
You know, because he looks quality, and obviously, I like him because he's a Stokey. So, you know.
Well, do you know what? I'm going to put this out there, and I'm going to get slaughtered for this, right?
Oh,
I went
here we
on
go.
Rich Sports. Now, I went on Rich Sports the other day, and someone actually put the question about Choupo-Moting, right?
Ooh.
Now, I look at this. I personally am not a big fan of Choupo-Moting. I thought he was pretty pants at Stoke, but he went on to PSG, had a good time there. Now killing it in the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich. He's got a good relationship apparently with Ten Hag. Ten Hag really gets on with him, likes him, and all this. I would look at maybe short-term Choupo-Moting.
But then again, it's like he's doing well in the Bundesliga, but he couldn't do it at Stoke.
He couldn't do it at Stoke, but then you look at Stoke, the players around him. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why I always like players like Ivan Toney who can do it in a team with. I hate to slag off Brentford because they've just beaten Man City and they absolutely wiped the floor with us, but they've got decent enough players around them, but not as good as Man United players, and he kills it. So Ivan Toney would come into this Manchester United team and do really, really well. But I'm looking short-term option until we get to the summer. I would pick someone like Choupo-Moting, someone that's a bit older, a bit more experienced, but cheaper.
Would he leave Bayern Munich?
That's the big thing. That is a big question, whether or not he would leave.
No,
I've
seen loads of comments as well. A load of people agreeing with it, saying that in January or in the summer, I can't remember which one it is, that United should sell a load of players. Now, I agree with this. We should have a big clear out. But one of the players that I've seen the most popping up is David De Gea, and I don't understand it. Why?
Yeah,
why are United fans so against the keeper that keeps us from pretty much losing week in, week out?
It does seem to be like a fringe group of the fans that seem to want him out. Now, I know when we had Dean Henderson, that caused a big divide in the fan base because you had some that really wanted Dean Henderson to be the main number one. Then you had others that said David De Gea. For me, David De Gea hasn't had a bad season. He's had a bad couple of games, but he's been consistently decent for us. The problem with David De Gea now, though, is his wage is ridiculous. It's astronomical. And also the fact he is getting on in years. Now, I would keep him at Man U, but I would also lower his wage. And it's whether or not them two things can be compatible.
Yeah, because with a keeper like him, for how long he's been at United, this needs to be the team that he retires at. It's got to be.
Yeah, I would love him to retire here. He's been here since he was early 20s, maybe even teens. He's been a great servant to the club. But for me, his wages and everything like that are astronomical. Really are. And that needs to come down, and whether or not he's going to choose to stay on lower wages. Let's go through some of these comments, guys. Sorry, we've been chatting away. So let's have a look. Asif's put, yes, Tom, I've read that one. There was one good comment I read from Asif as well. Wouldn't have mattered so much if we were good at keeping the ball today. Every time William went at Malacia, he was getting past. They penetrated that right-hand side in the first half every single time. It was so frustrating, even in the second half as well. But that first half in particular, it just seemed like every attack went down there. Phil's put here, so does Shaw. Those crosses are unreal. I can't wait for Luke Shaw in the World Cup. I really can't. Luke Shaw, international season is where it all kicks off. He is
understand
phenomenal.
why I love Luke Shaw so much.
I do. I like Luke Shaw. I don't get all the hate towards him, to be honest. Like, I've never understood it. I've never been fully against him. I've had times where I've been frustrated with him, but like, I get that out with everybody. Thank God we got this win before the World Cup. Big win before the World Cup. Because imagine this going in on a
game
draw.
with a game in hand as well.
Yeah, man, we would have been so low. Delo or Shaw pushing as fullback? ? From Phil. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Maybe I've missed a comment. Joe's put here, if Anthony had been playing, Malacia might have looked a bit better. Playing Alanga in front of Malacia was also a risk. Yeah, I said a few times Alanga doesn't
we
track
were so
back well.
weak down that side.
Yeah, when you consider they're both inexperienced down that... Well, no, not inexperienced. Both poor down that right-hand side. Let's be honest. Yeah. He's not great down there, is he? Poor lad. I feel so bad for Malacia playing on that right-hand side up there with Alanga. Alanga's been poor, man. He's just not ready. He's not ready. Yeah. Typical performance when your former employers roll into town, says Phil. Yeah, and about Dan James and Pereira. They were both so up for this today. You could see Anthony gave us so much balance that side. Yeah, Tom, I feel like Jose era defending one goal type. Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was like we missed a few chances. Then second half, we went out with the intention of just defending or seeing it out. And it was very much like Jose. It's a great point, Asif. Pete's put here, we need 6 more players to be challenging for me. 6 more players. And then Pete's followed that up with Gakpo or Tony as our striker.
Take them both.
I'd take them both. I love Ivan Toney as well. What he did to Man City yesterday, and the fact he's not going to the World Cup over Callum Wilson is a shocker. I like Wilson. I think Wilson's decent, but is he Ivan Toney level? Not for me. I think Ivan Toney.
I haven't really seen Callum Wilson do much this season compared to Ivan Toney.
He's playing well, but because he's in a team that's playing well. This is the point I was making earlier with Ivan Toney. He's playing in a team that are up and down, but
in the league. By the way,
well, he's consistently performing, and he's got such good assets. He's quick, he's strong, he's good in the air. Like, why would you not want that? You know, a backup to Harry Kane. If you got Callum Wilson, if Harry Kane got injured, you're bringing on Callum Wilson. The whole nation's like, here we go, out we go. Ivan Toney up there, you could think he's a bit like Harry Kane, strong, quick, tall, powerful. What we need, not as obviously the same level as Kane, but you know what I mean. He could be one day. You're right. Pete's put here, I don't want another short-term striker option. To be honest, Pete, neither do I. But if it's a case of what we've got now, let's say Ronaldo goes in January, you're left with Anthony Martial, given his injury record, I would love a short-term option. But I do understand you're sort of hesitant for getting that. I do understand that. Asif has put here, Donny, Maguire, Fred, Jones should all be up on the transfer list. I said this in the watch along. Maguire, you just know he's going to have a fantastic World Cup, and we're going to keep him based on the back of that.
I don't understand.
You just
Fred.
know
I like Fred.
Fred's on his way out, mate. There was talk about him getting a contract, but he's on his way out. You don't love Fred.
I always have. I've always liked Fred.
Fred's your man, is he?
I've always liked him.
Fred's too erratic for me. I do love Fred. Fred's a difficult player to actually like.
That's what I mean. I mean, his like say personality or whatever. Him as a person, I love him. Yeah, his football might not be the best, but I think he still gives it all for the badge.
Yeah, he does try. I mean, that's where Donny should learn. I think Donny's got more technical ability, but he's just not got that same energy or passion as Fred has. Let's have a look at some of these other comments. Because David wants to leave. It's a loyalty issue, says Phil. And he's only 31, to be honest. Not too old for a keeper. Yeah, he's still, when you've got, what's his name, Buffon still going into his mid to late 40s, he can still do it, but it's just, I think the wages that he's on are ridiculous, like 400 grand a week. You could lower that wage bill, and that money could be used to potentially fuel someone. If we had different owners, but these lot, you know what'll happen, it'll go straight into dividends, they'll take it. Let's not get into it, because I'm happy. Asif put here, how about Enzo Fernandez for Donny?
Another Fernandez, which isn't like we've already got Bear Anthony's.
We got Bear Anthony's, and now we got a couple of Fernandezes in there. We need another Martinez, I think. Pete's put here, Fred is so up and down. Time to go for me. Yeah, he's just a bit all over the place. He'd be one of the last ones I'd sell, though. I'd sell someone like Donny over him.
Yeah.
I think he's still good to keep around, but I wouldn't give him like a 3 or 4 year contract, which has been reported. And Pete's also put, sorry, that was the last one from Pete. Right, let's get into these player ratings. Let us do this. This is where everything goes
Yeah,
on.
otherwise we'll be here all night.
We will be just moaning about things. Right, I'm not going to be able to get the players up, I don't think. Or did I do it last time? Do you know what?
Did do it last time.
I did. And there's Elanga. Right, I need to start again. Hang on. There he is. Right. The man, the myth, the legend.
Still new to this Discord stuff.
I have got no idea what I'm doing, mate. It's all going crazy. I'm still new to this streaming stuff. David De Gea, phenomenal for me today. I'm going to give him an 8.
I was just about to say an 8. It was solid.
Yeah, really good. Kept us in the game. They had so many good chances. Let's not even beat around the bush. Yeah. They had so many good chances. So for me, this man gets an 8. You're going with that as well?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with an 8.
Going with an 8. Astis put here, Fred should go to Fulham and join James and Andreas.
Eventually, Fulham will have an ex-Man United team. That's what they'll be.
Man United rejects. Fred at Fulham, though, I tell you, I reckon he'd ball there,
Probably.
With Kearney or Ream. Yeah, I think after watching him today, I could see Fred doing well at a club like Fulham. Harry Maguire too, and Phil Jones. Donny. Yeah. Joseph's put here, David De Slayer. I love that. David De Slayer today, definitely.
I've never heard that one before. That's a good one, that.
David De Slayer. I'm vibing with that. I like that. Can't wait till we get on players like Garnacho. I can't wait to see what people say about that. Well, we'll move on because the comments will catch up. We're slightly ahead of the comments, I think. David De Gea, 8. Tyrell Malacia. It's got to go with a 4 or a 5 for me.
I was just going to say about a 4. About a 4 for me.
And I hate doing that because I've got to be honest, based on what I saw, it's a 4 or a 5, but I don't feel like... No, I can't give him any higher.
Yeah.
I've got to base it on what I saw, and I'm going with that. I'm going to go with I'll go with a 4.5, smack bang in the middle.
Yeah, it's a 4 for me.
4 for you. Here come the comments here from David De Gea. David De Gea, already contender for player of the season. 8 from me, that's from Asif. And Pete's going with De Gea, 8, superb. Katie's also gone with an 8, and so does Eli. Malassi wasn't great today, to be honest. I hope that's a 4 and not a -4, but I'll go with a 4. I think that's what you mean there. Yeah, poor from him today. Victor Lindelof, do you know what? I thought he was banging today.
Yeah, he played really well.
Positionally, he was superb. I'm going to go with a 7.5 today. You're going with a 7. Yeah. I'm going with 7.5. Positionally, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Cleared up everything that needed to be done. Didn't really put a foot wrong. Tried the balls over the top that almost worked. I mean, his long-range passing has long been spoken about. Yeah. But yeah, really good from him. Pete's put here, Malacia 5 wasn't great, but on the wrong side. Yeah, I agree, man. It's difficult to slag him off too much. Yeah. It's not something like a long-standing issue, but he didn't play well. Malacia played it on the right, not on the left, Tom. Put some respect to effort. 5.5. That's from Massive. Yes, Tom. Sort that out.
No.
Lindelof 8, actually great today, best game in a while. Yeah, I thought he was solid, man. I thought he was really, really good. Enjoyed watching his work rate today. The Butcher.
Solid as always, to be fair.
Brilliant performance from him.
I'd give him an 8.
Yeah, I think an 8's fair. I think just because of the Pereira business. But also, he won... I read out his stats in the first half. He won all his aerial duels. He wasn't dribbled past. He was solid.
Same old.
The only thing... Same old. The only thing that slightly worried me was Dan James up against him. There was a few times where Dan James ended up one-on-one, and just based on pace.
Let's be fair, there's not many people catching up with Dan James.
No, that's a very good point. But again, it's... yeah, it's just his end ball. Looking at some of these comments that are coming in. Asif's gone with 8.5. Pete's gone with 6.5. Wasn't his best today for me. I don't think... Wow, 6.5. That's harsh.
A bit low, Pete. Come on.
That's very harsh. I mean, I always appreciate everybody's view. Don't get me wrong,
that's your opinion, but I don't agree with that opinion.
No, it's very harsh indeed. Very harsh. Martinez was freaking great as always. 8 for me and Eli. Eli says he loves Daddy. I love you too, little man. Big shout out to my boy, number 1 fan. But yeah, I think 6.5 is so harsh, man.
Yeah, very.
Can't do that to the butcher. Luke Shaw, again an 8. Our defence today, considering we conceded, considering we were under the cosh, our defence today probably gets some of the highest ratings. I'm going with Luke Shaw with an 8. Yeah. Crossing was fantastic. Positional was fine. And, yeah, not much wrong again for me.
Yeah. Yeah, an 8. Lucky I didn't give him a 9 or a 10. Tell you.
So it was a bit of a poor performance for you then, if you're going to give him an 8, because you usually score him like 11s and 12s. You break the rules when it comes to Luke Shaw. No. Pete's put here Shaw 7 was good too.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with Pete more. I'm 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that. To be fair, Shaw is also an 8. Totally agree on the defensive side. Other than Malacia, I thought they were all good. To be honest, today. Yeah. Casemiro.
I'd go with 7.
Yeah. Passing was fantastic. His passing is so good, man.
It's like he moved, for the goal, he basically turned it from defence to attack with one pass. So. And
he did that throughout, to be fair. Like I said quite a few times, him and Eriksen.
The thing is with Casemiro, he at times he can be sloppy. But he makes up for it.
He always wins it back if he's made a mistake. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 7 for Casemiro. Assis put Martinez is the daddy of our back line. He's also Andreas Pereira's daddy now. He owns him. There's another one in the pocket. Asif has put Luke Shaw gets an 8 and Casemiro gets a 7. Pete's put Casemiro 7, steady as always, and great on the ball. I think we're all in agreement. Let's move. Christian Eriksen.
He gets an 8 or a 9 from me, to be fair.
Goal and an assist.
What more could you want?
Not much you can. Not
Christian
much more you can
Eriksen won us the game, realistically speaking.
Yeah. For me, Christian Eriksen gets. I'm going to go with a 9.
Yeah, I don't see no problem with that.
Go with a 9.
See, I've got some up here that I'm going off for just to see what other people have put, and they've put down here a 7 for Christian Eriksen.
A 7?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm really confused because the description's scored his first United goal to put them 1-0 up and should have got another just before the interval. That proved to be crucial. But then he assisted Garnacho. We give him a 7. I don't seem like you know what you're talking about.
No.
So I'm just gonna get rid of them.
Dwight's jumped in the comments. Big up to Dwight. He's put 10.
Howdy.
10 for Dwight.
I don't disagree.
He was great, man.
Give him an 11.
He was great today. Eriksen 8.5 should have had 2 goals, to be honest. There was that chance in the first half that he put just past the post. I was so angry when he missed that. But let's look at the positives. He did get the goal, did get the assist. It's all that matters. We won the game. He gets a 9 from me. Asif here, 7 for the goal and assist. Don't forget he missed the sitter and was sloppy.
Still don't agree with it, 7.
I don't see how he can get a 7, man. I don't think he was sloppy.
So
I don't think
that's your opinion, Asif. But like for me, a 7, it's not possible.
No, I don't understand it. I don't get it. I'll have to rewatch some of the game. I always try and rewatch bits of the game anyway. But
I always watch
let's
the
move on.
highlights after.
always, always. Bruno Fernandes.
Only if we
And
win.
first half was unreal, man. Bruno was
I think
so
the
good
second
first
half let him down. So like
Yeah,
for that reason, I'd give him like a 6.
yeah. I think first half he was an 8, but the second half he was probably like a 4 or a 5. So I think 6 is fair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He's still crucial. He's still a crucial player. Like without him, we aren't the same.
oh, we are rubbish without him, man. We can't do anything without him. We completely fall apart without him.
Dwight's giving him a 7.
7 for Bruno.
Can't really disagree. 7, 7, 8. Not 8. Sorry, 6, 7. You know, it's
The thing is, like with a 7, I always think like 6 is slightly above average, and a 7 is like a good performance, like a solid performance.
yeah.
Eric's for me today, Bruno. There was a time where he headed it across the goal, the face of the goal, even though there was no one there.
I literally, because Dwight was at mine watching it, and when he did it, I literally sat there and I was like, "Why is he not shot?
Mm-hmm.
He had the opportunity to
what's he
shoot.
doing
Why
there?
is he headed it back across the box to nobody?"
The thing was, he actually came across to the left and then headed it across to the right, forgetting the fact that he was actually meant to be playing on the right. So it's like, what are you doing? But hey, man, these things happen in a flick of an eye. They only get a brief second to really think about it. Pete's put here, Bruno 7 was great first half, but that switch to the right hampered him. That was a big mistake for me today from Eric Ten Hag.
I don't understand why he keeps doing this.
No, it was a big mistake. Unless it's a cry for help, maybe it is literally showing the board how weak we are on the wings and in certain positions.
It could be a silly tactic.
Yeah, it could be something like that. Someone said that to in the comments. I can't remember who it was after the Harry Maguire thing when we put Harry Maguire up front. Someone said it could be Eric Ten Hag's way of saying to the board, "Look, we haven't got any strikers. We're having to resort to play Harry Maguire as a striker."
If that's the case, it's pretty clever, to be fair.
Well, it makes headlines. It gets people talking. You know, bigger YouTube channels than us talk about it all the time. So it gets people talking about it. Marcus Rashford.
Yeah. He's a bit shit today, wasn't he?
I'm trying to think what he did.
Every time he had the ball, the defender knew what he was going to do, and I'd give Rashford like a 5 because he wasn't terrible, but he wasn't good either. He just he was there.
I think he linked up really well with Martial.
Yeah,
but it just always seemed like the last ball. Yeah, they've got a great chemistry, but it always seemed like the last ball something went wrong, and I don't know whether that was Martial or if it was Rashford
as well. He always tries the same thing to beat the defender, and it kind of feels like they're catching on to him now because they know what he's going to try and do.
Wasn't his best performance by any stretch.
But we can't expect a 10 out of 10 performance from him every game.
No. He tried though today. That's what I saw in the Aston Villa game. I didn't think he tried. I
don't mind if you have not one of your best games, as long as I see that you're trying and you're wanting it, then whatever. We all have it. Yeah. Everyone has a bad game.
Sure. I think everyone's giving him 5s. Dwight's giving him a 5. Asif's also gone with 5. You've gone with 5. Let's go with a 5. I think 5 is a fair result by the looks of things. Dwight's, but I think it's a 5 because his link-up play was good and made some good runs, but nothing major. Yeah, his willingness today was brilliant. I can't fault him on that, but just the end ball, the end product wasn't there. Tony Martial, very similar from him as well today. He looked just like his last ball let him down.
He still looked good when he got on the ball, but there was a few times where I think it was in the second half as well. There was a good run made by Rashford, I think, or Bruno, and he just completely misplaced it and gave it straight to the keeper. It's like, I think he was very similar to Rashford. I'll go with 5.
Yeah, I'm going with a 5 for Martial. There was that really great chance he had from the header that went over. He also had a great chance. I think it was with Rashford, if we're thinking about the same one.
Yeah.
And he cocked it up, and it's like
The one where it went under Leno, but there wasn't enough, like, because Leno had got something on it. It
went through Leno's legs. There was also one where Leno saved it, but it was like his first touch, and he was a bit hesitant today.
Yeah.
He wasn't sharp. It wasn't the Anthony Martial that we used to see. And I get it, it's due to injuries and trying to get back up to speed. It takes its toll. But it's nice to see him back and play in 60, 70 minutes. And I think he got about 60 or 70 minutes in the Thursday game as well. So it's nice to see him back. Let's have a look here. Asif put, Tony couldn't find the net. He had a few cracks. 6 for me. And that's from Asif. Get your comments in about Tony Martial. We'll come back to him. Anthony Elanga. I'm going to go out and say it. I'm going to give him a 3.
I was going to go 4, but, you know.
We gave Malacia 4.5, I think. Malacia at least did a couple of things defensively. He cut out a couple of crosses. There was nothing today I saw from Anthony Elanga. There was literally nothing I can even remember about his performance today.
Do I have to give him a 1?
Like,
to be fair, I suppose anywhere from 0 to 3, you could give him any of them, really, because they're still bad ratings.
Just degrees of badness, but
I'd give him a 0.
I struggle. Yeah, I would. The thing is, like, I look at it and I go, I can't understand what he did. I can't understand what he brought to today's game. When he looked like he was attacking, he looked hesitant. Didn't look like he knew what he was doing. Looked scared. Looked nervous. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just gonna say it. I think he was appalling today. Thought it was absolutely shocking. And I think, looking at the comments, I could go with a 1 or a 0, to be honest. I think a 1 or a 2. Tom's gone with a 0. Am I right?
No, the Shoestring Budget podcast has gone with a 0.
Oh, right. The admin together. So, collectively, I've gone with a 1, so you've gone for a -1, so we've evened it out at a 0.
Exactly.
That's how we roll. Poor from him today. Really poor.
Yeah.
Looking at the substitutes, I think it was Scott McTominay.
He was all right. I still think he gives us something, but not much.
I wasn't massively
He had
blown
some
away by
chances
him.
that he probably should have scored.
That was what I was going to say. There was some chances that he messed up. There was a lot of calls last season. I remember seeing some of the bigger YouTubers saying that he should play more like a box-to-box midfielder. But he gets in these positions, and when he doesn't take his chances, it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
But I'll give him a 6. Can't really remember him doing too much good, too much bad. He's just sort of above average.
Yeah, I'll go for a 5.
And Garnacho,
10.
the GOAT.
10.
The GOAT. Man of the match.
10.
10. Man of the match for you?
There's nothing else. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
What's Asif put here? Should send Elanga to play for Ralph Ragnick, and then it's gone. Yeah. Make him change nationality. Goat Nacho for us. If Goat Nacho was your man of the match, hit the like button. Make sure you tell at least 3 people about the channel. Try and get us another subscriber. I do have a prize when we get to 100 subscribers.
It could be
so it could be you. We will do a draw. We will pick out a name, and then we will send you a very cool prize. Have a very limited edition Ajax shirt in memory of our beautiful manager who came from Ajax, obviously. Got a lovely Ajax shirt to give away, and that will be once we hit 100 subscribers. So that could be you. Make sure you try and get us there. We're about 25 away.
I might unsubscribe and subscribe again, so I might win it.
You might win it. Make sure you tell everybody about it.
Well, you'll just have to clip that what you've just said and put it on Twitter. Get the people know.
And like I say, we're only about 25 off, so we could easily get that.
At the minute, we are on 73.
73. There you go. So get telling people about it, get them subscribing, even if they're not Manchester United fans. Obviously, we've got the World Cup coming up. We're going to be discussing that, and it's good for England fans to jump on as well. So please get us out there, get retweeting everything, and get us some subscribers. And you could be in with a chance of winning a limited edition Ajax shirt. And if Garnacho is your man of the match, drop us a like. Tom, it's been absolutely lovely. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
To be honest, I've been glad to be back on the podcast, and the only thing I can add now is it's coming home.
Now it's World Cup time. Oh my god!
As if, but hey, how about the name change of the channel?
Yeah, we needed to discuss that.
It's in the works. It's going to take a while, a whole rebranding, whatever. But we've got to find the perfect name. We can't just.
Yeah, we thank you to everyone that put in on Twitter about the poll as well.
Yeah, we can't just
give us a lot of options.
We can't just choose one and change it. It's got to be something that we're guaranteed we're going to stick with, and we're going to need some proper banners and channel art doing. So it'll take time, but eventually it'll happen. But for now, we are the Shoestring Budget Podcast.
That's it. Well, buzzing as ever. Great win for Manchester United before the international break. Obviously, I know a few of you guys won't be tuning in for the World Cup stuff. But if you do, make sure you retweet, get us some more subscribers, and you could be in with a chance of winning a nice prize. Tom, it's been a pleasure. See you all after the World Cup, most of you. Peace.